Just as the country was coming to terms with the horror that has unfolded in Kolkata, comes news from Maharashtra that is also truly horrific. The sexual abuse of two young girls in kindergarten at their school inside their toilet. I'm Barkha Dutt, you're with the Mojo Story. The country has seen images coming from Maharashtra that have left an imprint. These are images of a police lathi charging protesters, protesters that came out in large and massive numbers after news surfaced that two young girls, younger than 5 years old, had been sexually abused by a school attendant inside the toilet of their school. As is typical now with these cases, what happened after the sexual abuse in some ways was even worse. Parents have alleged that they were made to wait for 12 hours before an FIR was registered by the police. The mother of one of the girls who was sexually abused was 2 months pregnant as she waited for 12 hours to register the FIR. The principal of the school has been suspended. Three police officials have been suspended as well. But in the meantime, a political war has erupted. The opposition in Maharashtra has asked for a Maharashtra Bandh. They say the police has shown much more promptness in cracking down on protesters because nearly 70 arrests have been made and 5 FIRs have been filed against about 500 people than they showed for actually catching the perpetrators of the crime. To talk about Badlapur, not far from Mumbai, let's introduce our two guests on the program today. I want to welcome first up on the program Sushiben. Sushiben is, of course, let's welcome her to the program. Sushiben Shah is the chief of the Maharashtra Child Rights Panel and also a leader of the Eknath Shinde Sena group. Welcome, ma'am, to the program. Namaskar. Also joining us is Priyanka Chaturvedi, member of parliament. She's with the UBT Sena and has been vociferous on this issue in the last couple of days. Welcome, Priyanka, to the program. Sushiben Shah, I will start with you because in your report, you have actually acknowledged that there has been a lapse by the school. And as we saw in Kolkata, as we tend to see institutionally, the first attempt when a crime like this happens is a cover up. And you have very clearly said that in this case, too, the school attempted to cover up the crime instead of helping the parents. Can you share with us what has really disturbed you? What has been the response of the school? And are you, with all honesty, hand on your heart, happy with the way the police has behaved now that the parents have said that they were made to wait for 12 hours, including a pregnant mother in that wait? How do you respond, ma'am?
I would say the correct things on fact, hand on the heart, and God overhead. You see, yesterday I was the whole day I was at Badlapur, and I was really saddened when hearing the what happened to the little two girls. They are actually girls of Maharashtra. Sensitivity was lacking. You see, ma'am, I have been serving as a child right chairperson for the past 2 years. Earlier, I was a chairperson of Mahila Ayog. So while cogitating on the way from Badlapur to Mumbai, which is a 2 hours long drive, and earlier also I've taken up this issue, there has to be constructive effort to ensure that a systemic change is made. So what I've done today, I've taken a press conference today and suggested that a structure like a crime branch should be formed for women and child. Let us not forget, we are 70% of the total population, whether it be taluka, whether it be the districts or nation at large. So, like a crime branch, a structural unit, a mini police station in the existing police station, and maybe a desk if it's at the tehsil level, which only handles women and children issues, because they need
Okay.
all the sensitivities, they need all the training. If you see under the JJ Act also, there is a provision for a police protection officer, for a child protection officer. But
What do you
usually,
think the school?
it's
What do
like,
you think the school and these are recommendations,
yes,
forward-looking
they
recommendations?
delay,
Before I go
they
to
delay,
Priyanka, who delayed?
they
The school or
delay.
the police
The
or both?
school,
Who delayed? The school or the
both,
police or both?
both, both.
Okay.
Let us
Okay.
go on record in saying so. The school delayed, they
Okay.
didn't meet the parents, and that's how maybe the protest happened. They got to know about the incident on the 14th. Nothing happened till the parents went to the 16th to the police station. That is one part. I've asked them a very categorical question. I was there yesterday. I started a preliminary investigation. Since I was there, the senior education officers there with me, including the minister of the education, Deepak Kesarkarji. The report will come to me in a short while. I
Okay.
specifically the school as to why POXO should not be levied on them because of the delay. You see, Barkha, in this, let us act constructively. I, Priyanka, and all other women who are politicians, but we are women politicians. Let us come together. I invite them. Then let us come together, form a constructive policy. Construct a policy or how our women and children be best
Okay.
protected.
I
Politics
will
aside.
say, I will say that it is. I'm glad you're being candid about the delay by both the school and the police. And let's take that to Priyanka. Priyanka, as an opposition leader, you'll be very critical about the handling of what happened. This horrible thing that has happened in the school, the sexual abuse of two girls younger than 5 years of age in their school toilet. You have Sushiben Shah here acknowledging that neither the school nor the police acted with the promptness that they should have shown. That's an admission. And she's saying, now let's be constructive. What do you say?
Okay, so firstly, Barkha, I'd just like to correct you. I've not been vociferous just about this particular issue. This because it comes from Maharashtra and it is about 4-year-old girls who probably
Yeah.
have not even learned lessons about good touch, bad touch, and have had to face this kind of a sexual assault, vis-a-vis other incidents that have happened across the country. So I've been equally vociferous for every issue that Indian women have faced and how we continue to ignore and not prioritize women's safety in this country as far as children's safety is concerned. All right. Now coming to the point that I was just listening to, and I'm not going to get into tutu meme. What candid admission are we talking about? 13th is when this incident was known. 12th is when this incident takes place. 13th is when this incident came to be known. The family took the child for a private medical visit. And that is when they realized that something, the bigger issue, what the bigger issue was. It was a matter of sexual assault, where her vaginal entry showed in 1 inch space. So that was something that the parents took charge of. The school did not come forward and admit what had happened. That's part one. 16th is when this FIR, 16th, again, 12-hour wait, only 17th early morning was this FIR launched. Ma'am was talking about, with all due respect to whatever she's saying, she was talking about her visit on the 20th. Now, please, 20th was when the protest started. 16th to 20th, there has been total silence from the government. Now, second point, including the ministers that she's naming, including the Home Minister of Maharashtra, including the Chief Minister of Maharashtra. Again, even the opposition did not raise a voice simply because we hoped, considering what Maharashtra's cultural legacy is and what Maharashtra talks about and Maharashtra walks about women's safety, would be adhered to, right? It is only when the protests began that we saw a flurry of press conferences and preliminary investigation and candid admissions, etc. Now let's keep that aside. There have been some very constructive suggestions coming from ma'am. I was just on a debate with her yesterday and I said, Shakti Act, Criminal Act, has every of these suggestions that she's coming forward with. There was a Shakti criminal law which had the approval of joint committee across political parties. Mahavikas Agadi, because it was a priority of Uddhav Bala Sahib Thackeray, had come up with the Shakti bill. It was passed after debate, discussion, disagreement, but everybody was on board with having a more stringent law, having separate police forces, assigned to such crimes against women, crimes against children. Separate investigating team, which would focus only on these crimes. Separate courts that will only focus on ensuring prosecution. Also, a commitment from the government of Maharashtra that investigation would take place within 15 days and it would go on trial within 30 days. All
Yeah.
that was needed. Assent given, but then you pull down a government. The presidential nod is awaited. 2022, Devendra Fadnavis comes to power illegally, unconstitutionally, immorally, and commits that now that they have a double engine sarkar, they will ensure that the speedy approval is given. We're sitting in
Okay.
2024, man. Yesterday, also on a debate sheet, Madam continued to argue that all of these bills have been, incorporated, all these provisions in the Shakti Act have been brought into the BNS. I'm sorry, none of this has been brought into the BNS. And whatever the constructive suggestion is a suggestion which is already incorporated and all it needs is a presidential
I
approval. Perhaps if we
I
had
just
just one last second.
okay,
Perhaps if
okay.
we had that in place, if that approval we had that in place, the nod we had that in place, we would probably be able to handle this better. That is all I would like to say. And I'm not
Okay,
going to ask any questions of this government or expect any answers from this government because they've already washed their hands off by saying it's a political stunt. The entire protest was a political stunt.
okay. Before I go to Sushiben Shah, I have one question of you. If you had to fault the Eknath Shinde government for their handling of this case, is the fault in the delay between the 13th and the 20th? Is the fault in how long the police took to file the FIR? And also, since you said in the beginning that you have always been outspoken on issues that concern the safety of women and girls, and that's true, I've known you a long time. Would you concede that we are dealing with something systemic here? From Kolkata to Badlapur, we are dealing with something systemic here, which is cover ups and insensitivity and callousness by police.
Okay, so two things, ma'am. Insensitivity is across board. We are a
Yeah.
state which has been at the forefront of ensuring women get justice. We've had women leaders, we've women in reforms, we've reformed our societies. Maharashtra is one of the progressive states. So, and law and order is a state subject. So you have a very important act which is pending approval and we're not working on it. Then we have ourselves to blame, right? The government has to take that blame, has to take the onus, or it refuses to take the onus. That's point one. Now, not just the delay, ma'am, not just the delay from 16th to the 20th. That's not my only problem. Shouldn't the Home Ministry have ordered the school to be closed down? Because if you look at the sequence of events, there is no
Yeah.
CCTV which is functioning, and there are three versions. A, there are no CCTVs. That is the director. Director also happens to be a BJP office bearer. That there are no CCTVs in that school, which is again illegal.
Yeah.
Then CCTVs are there, but they're not functioning as per the principal who has been sacked. Again, isn't that illegal? Third, which is a lot of these parents who are out there protesting their version, saying that the CCTV footage has been damaged. That is a criminal offense. Shouldn't the school have been immediately sealed so that there could be
Okay.
foolproof case against this particular individual? Now coming forward and saying, oh, we are making SIT, everything, this has all come. Please remember, this has come after the protest, after people have come out on the roads, after the outrage. Maharashtra hasn't seen this kind of outrage. Women coming and saying
Okay.
that instead of giving us 1,500, we're willing to give you 2,000, but please keep our children safe.
Yeah, I
So
did hear
that,
that. I did hear that very angry female protester. Suzy Ben Shah, do respond to this. The fact is that all of your interventions, Priyanka Chaturvedi says, have come after the mass outrage from
Not at
people.
all.
One other question. The second thing is that there is something rather ironic about the fact that the police has almost instantly made nearly 70 arrests, filed 5 FIRs against 500 people, acted with the kind of swiftness that was missing, as you yourself have acknowledged, in registering the FIR of the parents of those two little girls. Misha.
Now I'll tell you this. As far as
Yeah.
why the young girl went to the mother to say that there was someone had touched a private part, because good touch and bad touch, she knew the difference. She very categorically said that I have been not been touched properly. I've been badly touched. That is the reason. So good touch, bad touch.
Or she was injured. Or she was
Yeah,
injured.
she
She
was
was in
injured. So
pain.
she
She was
was,
in physical
yes,
pain
she
and
was in
discomfort.
pain. So that is the
Yeah.
reason she gone to the mother. Now let me tell
Yeah.
you this. When the parents, when the parents went to the police station, our woman and child officer were with the parents all the time, trying to help them, trying to guide them. In the police, in the hospital, I sent my own member, Nilima Chauhan, to help them to expedite, to hold their hand while the process was ongoing. You will agree, it's a long process, and you need hand
Hmm.
holding, including today. Samna, UBT's newspaper, has acknowledged by Child Right Commission that taking cognizance and acting swiftly. So here there is no political browning points. What I'm trying to tell you is that when we got to know about the delay, immediately my woman and child
Hmm.
officer contacted me. We moved swiftly. I also brought it to the notice of Kesar Karji, our education minister, because let us understand, Child Right Commission is a recommendatory power. We monitor, we supervise, we review. The investigation part is always done by the education minister here, and police investigation is always has to be done by the police. Now coming back to shutting down the school, let me again
Yeah.
remind you, sitting on Mojo, sitting on a social media platform, we can't order what needs to be done. There are rules of natural justice has to be followed. The minute I went there, investigation was done. We've shared a so-called notice. I'm going to dish out recommendations, whether it is
Do you wish
BJP.
do you wish you had gone earlier? Do you wish you had gone earlier to the school?
The minute I got to know, you see what happens, madam, there are 2 crore children studying in our primary education. The
Hmm.
minute we got to know about the wrongdoing, you have to be sensitive. You have to rise to the occasion as
Okay,
a
I
woman political leader. Let us not call who brought down the government, what did they do. I mean, that is ridiculous. At such a sensitive point, to talk about how who pulled on whom is ridiculous. Secondly, as far as the Shakti Act is concerned, I would just like to tell you this, ma'am. Today was not the debate of the Shakti Act. Otherwise, I can give her a complete lowdown as to the latter and spirit of law. Is
okay,
is already in the new Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. We can have a discussion, debate, point to point, word to word. But this
let
is
me
not the day today
let me
to
bring
talk
in
about.
let me bring yeah, sorry, let me bring Priyanka in, and I think
Monopolize
with
the
one
debate, please.
question,
Can
one
we not
question, yeah.
monopolize this debate?
Yeah, coming to you only, Priyanka. My question, I'm just adding a question that when Sushiben Shah says, why are you bringing in the fall of the split of the Uddhav Thackeray party into this, what would you say?
Let me first, please, let me also take a step back and mention to Madam Chairperson that this is not about her. We are not seeking accountability from her.
Hmm.
She's only defending herself that I was there, I did it, I. It's not about you, ma'am. It is about the government of Maharashtra. The second thing, I take offense to her part because I've been totally respectful to whatever she has spoken, where she says, oh, it's very fine to sit on social media, very fine to sit on Mojo and start talking about why the school was not sealed. Ma'am, whichever part of the state I might be sitting on, or even on Mojo, giving an interview, or even on social media, I have every right, as much as a resident of Maharashtra, as a member of Parliament of Maharashtra, to speak my mind. And that is a responsibility given to me by the representatives of Maharashtra. So I will continue to speak it as much as it may be painful for you to listen to. Thirdly, why should it not be about how the government was pulled down? Because what my argument was not about the government being pulled down. The argument was that there is a Shakti Act, whichever constructive suggestions Madam is making, that Shakti Act already has it. And why should I not bring it into this debate? Because it concerns the same thing that we're arguing about, women and child safety, right? And more stringent punishment, more
Hmm.
active prosecution, ensuring that there is no delay in justice, ensuring that the investigation is not hampered. Shakti Act was doing that. 2022, when I say the only thing I brought in was a government was pulled down illegally, immorally, unconstitutionally, which is not my word, which are the words of the Supreme Court of India. The Supreme Court of India had also gone on to say a lot of things about the governor, the same governor who was responsible to ensure that the presidential assent comes immediately. Hasn't happened.
Okay.
2022, as the Home Minister, it became his responsibility, refuses to do it. There are PTI, ample amount of PTI interviews, ANI interviews, where he goes on to say, yes, we will speed up the process. Not happened. Shakti Act is concerning this. My argument is concerning this. And if Madam thinks beyond whatever her role is, then probably she'll be able to answer for what government of Maharashtra is doing.
Okay, I need to take last comments from both of you. Susie Ben Shah, my question to you is this. When you acknowledge that the school and the police did not act as they should, one of my questions that you did not answer, this crackdown on protesters. The parents feel that because there was such a non-responsive system, till there were mass protests, this did not become a headline. You didn't make the trip. I didn't report it. That mass protest was needed. Why have those protesters been lathi charged? Why have we seen the kind of ferocious police crackdown on those who are protesting?
You see, coming to this point, and while commenting on Priyanka, she knows me pretty well, but doesn't want to call my name, be it. And I can do away with all these mimicries and gestures, which are uncalled for. We are on a topic in which we must discuss seriously and uh, efficiently, just on the topic. As far as the
Okay.
protesting people are concerned, I can understand it is a democratic right of everyone. But when they started destroying public property, stone pelting the police, I believe they had no option. I was not present there. It was rather sad. It shouldn't have happened. But vandalism, stone pelting on police is not necessary, uncalled for. And while I understand the role of the NGOs, yes, it is right that because the NGOs came forward, there is this lady from UBT who called me up saying that Sushiben, you'll have to intervene. And we intervened in a manner which is just, humane, and sensitive, in a very sensitive manner. That is the role. We have to all come together. And let me tell you about the structure that I'm talking about. As far as I will request you, Barkha, to have a separate episode, a separate show on Sakti Kaida and also the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. Most, I said. I never said all. I stand corrected. Earlier also, Priyanka should get herself corrected. I said most of the portions of the Shakti Act has been incorporated in the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. And what we are talking about here is, it is a structural reform at the government level, at the Maharashtra level. It can't be an act of parliament. So there is a difference. There is a difference between what I have proposed and what the Shakti Act. So
let me give a quick closing word. Yeah. Therefore,
it is lastly, Barkha, it is never I, it is the commission, it is the Mahayuti government, it is our chief minister. So let us not make such ridiculous, a way to ridicule a person.
Come
it's
on.
Not called for.
Priyanka.
What is she speaking about? What is uncalled for? All I'm saying is allow me to have my word. Right? Okay. Now, she has problems with my gestures. She has a problem with everything I'm speaking. She has a problem with whatever. That could be her problem, not mine. No, I can't keep quiet because she's going on making accusations at me while I'm going on talking about a very sensitive issue. Now, having said that, my only question here is, state, as far as law and order is concerned, it is a state subject. And state is well within its right to come up with law which help empower the state and its residents and its citizens. It is, no one's talking about parliamentary act. It is not going to the parliament. Let me be very clear with her. A state bill through the governor goes to the president gives their nod, and it returns back to the state, and the state is supposed to implement it. It has been pending with the president for past 3 years now. That is all I'm trying to say. It does not need to go to the parliament. BNS has gone to the parliament. It has been cleared in the parliament while some MPs, large number of MPs were suspended from the parliamentary session. It has been cleared in the parliament. I'm talking about a Shakti bill specific to Maharashtra, which would probably make women and children feel safer in the state, with more stringent laws, with separate courts, with separate investigating teams, with separate police teams, and focus only on women and child justice.
I do have to close now, Sushiben. As you have suggested, we will organize a separate, just one sentence. Okay, one sentence. Ms. Shah, go ahead, Sushiben.
I would request all the women leaders of Maharashtra, especially political leaders, let us come together. Let us sit together. Let us have a constructive debate. Let's have a white paper as to what needs to be done swiftly and surely, so 70% of our population feel protected. That is our job.
Okay.
That is our job, not to politicize always and everything. We have responsibility on our shoulders. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Sushiben Shah, Priyanka Chaturvedi. The opposition has called a bandh tomorrow. I want to leave all of us thinking about 2 little girls in kindergarten who were sexually abused in this toilet of their school. Sushiben Shah, Priyanka Chaturvedi, thank you. It seems that this horrible news of relentless sort of sexual violence and systemic failures after that is what our headlines and our hearts are occupied with. We will keep tracking all of these cases. Thank you for watching. Take care. It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.